Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the safest station in the nation.
On a
hey,
Monday.
Happy Monday to you today. It's blistering again out there. We're going on our 3,000th day of 100 degrees.
At least 6 weeks.
You know what? And I blame it on, I don't know what I blame it on.
Blame it on somebody. Blame it on Drive Safe Dave.
I don't know.
Because it's probably my fault.
I don't know.
It
You know what?
finds a way.
I would say for that to be your fault means you'd have to do something. So you may be innocent from that. Hey, but Drive Safe, how was that weekend, sir?
It was hot. It was fun. Did saw the kids. Other than that, that's about it.
Saw the kids, didn't do nothing, didn't hang out, just
Yeah, I went swimming on
a little
Saturday.
pool action.
Yeah, a little pool action, and then
You a little OPSEC. You can't divulge much, or what? What's going on?
it wasn't that exciting.
Did you go
I went to dinner.
Did you go get some whippings and stuff like that? Did you
I went
guys
to.
make
So
a
I
little
will
funky?
tell you, I put on my cowboy hat and my cowboy boots, and I went down
Now
to.
you did something.
And I went down to the Drover Hotel, the new Drover Hotel down in the Stockyards in Fort Worth. I go down there, and growing up, we always wore our boots and hats going down to on this Friday or Saturday night down to the Stockyards. I go down there, and it's it has turned into a outside tourist destination. All I saw down there were hey dudes, shorts and tank tops, people walking around.
Yeah, it's the
taking
Stockyards
pictures.
for sure. Summertime Stockyards. A lot of people coming to visit here. Drive safe. Let's go into the seatbelt. Casper, if you're watching this show today, we encourage you to make sure that you wear your seatbelt. You may be a ghost, but we still want you safe out there on the roadways.
Yeah, always buckle up no matter what you do, no matter when you get in your truck or your car. It doesn't matter. Buckle up.
Ghost, non-ghost.
Why do you keep saying ghost?
Looks like like an alien ghost or
It's
something.
just do you understand that it is a representation? Even those school crossing signs, those aren't real kids. You get that right? They're just a representation
I think
of
we can go back to the drawing board. That looks like a school kid drew that one. They're like a kindergartner. We can do a little better than that. That's all I gotta say.
By the way,
we can do a little better.
Don't miss the message. Don't try not to miss the message up by the sign. Try to understand what it really means, and that means buckle up saves lives. Buckling up truly, truly. So, do you buckle up every time you get in the car?
Every single time.
Me too.
This person that you have there is obviously not a driver, though, right?
It's representation of a driver or a
Most
passenger.
drivers have,
or a passenger.
It could be a passenger. Most drivers have arms.
Or
Most of them do.
and if those
Probably
that
not all.
don't need to buckle
Probably,
up.
No, I'm just saying. Probably a driver, not a driver is all I've got to say. Hey, Drive Safe Dave went to Canton, watch a little
Be
baseball
hard
this
for them to
weekend.
buckle up.
Dude,
I'm just saying.
dude, you can still get buckled in.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Be hard. It's a lot harder. I mean, I would say.
But you know what? Sometimes it's worth the extra effort.
It is.
Doesn't give you the right to not go.
That is true.
buckled.
Make sure it doesn't matter. Always buckle up yourself or anybody else that's in the car. Help out your fellow person.
Hey, you know what, Dave? There's an article that just came out. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, so make sure you read this up. It just hit the Wall Street, not even the paper. Hit it today on the internet. It has to do with the autonomous vehicles, the self-driving. It's in regarding Too Simple, one of the largest the autonomous vehicle makers out there, the most active for certain. And some reports about them that, they are saying, hey, it's still human error, and the other people are saying, hey, we got some problems with the technology here. So I'm going to encourage you to read up in that article. Let's talk a little bit about it. Maybe we can even get somebody from Too Simple on this show tomorrow to dive into some of these issues that are going on. Again, not all of these accidents are getting reported, right? It's and what we're pushing for is more regulation on what gets reported. How many times did you run into a barricade? Maybe another vehicle wasn't involved. Bumped into. Those are the things that I think we've got to get more comfortable with. The autonomous is going to happen eventually. We keep talking about that because it's all driven around safety. They are safety minded. However, technology still has to get perfected a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think there were some things about it. I was watching what was it, 60 Minutes the other day, and they had something on there about how certain things it doesn't see as well yet, and there's still some things. People have died in autonomous driven vehicles, but overall, it's designed and it is created for within mind of safety. I agree. So So there's a lot of work still needs to be done, but I do believe it has to be reported, and we need to watch it. We need to check it.
Yeah, for certain. For certain. Hey, we opened up talking about the weather, talking about the heat.
Hot.
Listen, it's no joke on that. If you're out there driving, make sure you have plenty of fluid in you, especially if you're a local driver. You know, we saw the UPS, a lot of drivers upset about, you know, being held to the same standards, having to go out there and deliver packages. We're going to have to go out and deliver, right? Listen, you as a driver, you still have that responsibility while you're out there to make sure that you're ready for the environment that you're in. But I would also say to the management of companies, you know, dispatchers, those kinds of folks, hey, you can't hold them to the same standard.
No,
they can't move in that same. Well, they can, but perhaps not for very long.
Right.
And we're seeing drivers out there,
up.
some of them UPS drivers, yeah, you know, just they're getting dehydrated.
Yeah, I mean, we got to educate, we got to check on our employees, right? We got to check on our drivers. We got to check on those people out there. If you're a manager and you have local drivers and they're out working in this heat, you got to make sure they're okay. Make sure they're filling up with water. Ask them, because you can forget, and the next thing you know, you've overheated.
Yep.
And then it's too late. Then they can't drive. Then they can't do their job, and they can wind up in the hospital.
Yeah. Know the signs. Make sure you're paying attention. But you yourself, when you're out there, again, it's not just a UPS, FedEx driver, Amazon driver. These folks that are in and out in that heat. Yeah, absolutely. It's anybody. You've got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And Dave, it goes to the big trucks as well. Those folks that are running and they don't have air right now.
I don't.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, if they're not having
tough.
air and you're asking them just to come on down, you know what? Just another week. Listen, that means they're sleeping when it's 85 degrees outside.
Yeah,
it's not a good sleep. You know, it's uncomfortable, and it doesn't matter, Dave. You know, again, you know, well, it cools down at night. Not that much.
No, not
I mean, how many of us have our house set up at 80 degrees?
None of us, and except my mom. But I'm just saying, have you ever tried to sleep? And remember, it doesn't get 85 at 9 o'clock at night. It's still 95 degrees. It doesn't cool down until 5 in the morning. So that's the lowest it gets, and that's right before the sun comes up. So you're not getting the rest you need. And I'm telling you, if you don't get a good rest and you don't get a fitful rest, I mean, if you don't get a well-rested sleep, you're not going to be 100% behind the wheel. You're setting yourself up for danger.
Yeah, and there's only so much. Again, you know what? There's only so much that can happen with that window being open, with the air coming through naturally. Again, dispatchers, listen for these things.
Yep.
Right? Owners of companies, fleet owners, owner-operators, you've got to try to get those. And again, Dave, struggles are, you know, still parts.
Absolutely.
Supply chain is still a little mess right now. You know, getting those in, getting that part in, you know, it's tough.
AC
it's
parts.
let me tell you, it's a tough decision out there, Dave. Do you continue running, or do you shut that truck down because you don't have the money perhaps to go out and rent another truck?
Yeah, and then shut the truck down, and you don't know that it's going to be fixed.
Down.
Yeah, and you don't know that it's going to be fixed right away. I mean, you know, you may be in the shop a week because we're waiting on just a valve or a chip or something that they've got to order out because they don't have full shelves inside the parts rooms anymore. Used to, all the parts rooms were full and fully stocked. They're not fully stocked. Inventory's low on those parts.
Hey, Dave, we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back, and you know, we talk about comfort. We talk about that AC, but another thing important to a truck driver out there is that mattress.
Absolutely.
There's Andy. You know what? So we have Mattress Matt coming up next. We're going to go to a quick break on that, and we'll be back in about 60 seconds. This is BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation.
The Odyssey Mattress right here, right now at the 43rd Annual Trucker Jamboree. And I'm telling you right here, nobody has it here like we got it here. This right here, smooth pillow top, Egyptian cotton, 600 drain right here. Wow! And I'm going to tell you what, Americans made this, made by Americans, for Americans. Are you American? Do you want to be an American? Then you need to get one of these mattresses today if you think you are American. And let me tell you right now, you'll love it in the truck stop, and it's good for your back.
So what we did was we took input from all kinds of truck drivers in Joplin, Missouri, and around that parts where the factory is to get what a truck driver wants in a mattress. So what we did after interviewing maybe 100 truck drivers was they wanted a reinforced edge. I'm 280 pounds and I'm 6'7", so I'm sitting on the mattress and it doesn't bind up into my legs. It's reinforced edges, so it's going to hold up over time, okay? The other thing we wanted was they sleep hot, so we made breathable materials so it can breathe and get the air in and out. On top, we did a bamboo pillow top because if you wanted memory foam's going to get you hot, which defeats the purpose if you want to sleep cool. So that's the Odyssey truck mattress, guys.
All right, and we're joined today by our two TV stars, Drive Safe Dave and Mattress Matt in the house. Matt, what's happening, buddy?
It's going good. How are you guys this morning?
You know what? We're doing well. We're talking about mattress. We're talking about comforts for drivers. And you know what? First of all, I want to just thank you for a great time we had at the I-80 Walcott truck stop, the largest truck stop in America.
That's correct.
In the universe. You know what? Y'all did a great job. You represented yourself out there, and you brought together, and one of the things that intrigued us was your product. You know, Drive Safe Dave, you heard him selling it. I don't know how much of what he said was true, because, you know, he pretty much said if you don't own one of these mattresses, you're not an American.
Well, I'm pretty sure I lost the sales battle to Drive Safe Dave on that one. That was I pretty much threw my hands up. The guy actually changing the trash next to the booth stopped and said he can sell me anything he wants to because you got his attention. So I was like, all right, he won that one right there.
You know what? It's unfair. And Drive Safe Dave, he is undefeated when it comes to that. And you know what, Dave? We let them go first.
Oh, yeah.
And then you come in with all these broken promises, and he's just selling. You know, he threw out the 600 thread. He threw out made in America for Americans. If you're an American, do you want to be an American? That's what he said. like when you're coming over, that's the one thing. Do you have one of these Odyssey mattresses? Because if you do, automatic U.S. You know, you can get your whatever that is.
Citizenship and a mattress.
Yeah.
So, Matt, we had a lot of fun, you and I, goofing off, trying to sell the mattress and going out there. Man, I enjoyed hanging out with you guys and learning a little bit about your product. And as we go into it, why don't you tell us a little bit about the company and the product real quick?
Sure. So the parent company is called Forever Bed. They started back in 2012, and they build really high-end mattresses, and right in there in Joplin, Missouri. And again, Joplin, Missouri is a very, very big trucking town. So we had a lot of truck drivers as customers, and a lot of them started asking, hey, could you make me a bed for my truck? My mattress sucks. And they're like, okay, sure. So after a while, we're like, hey, there's something going on here. So we actually went out, and I'm not exaggerating. We interviewed about 100 truck drivers, asking them, what do you want in a mattress? And I promise you, we had some really goofy looks asking, why is this strange guy come up and ask me about my mattress in my truck? And once we got their feedback, what we wanted to just say is, what do you want? And how do we input that in a mattress that works and makes sense, and it's not, you know, outrageously expensive, or it doesn't work. It defeats the purpose. So that's kind of how the product came along.
Yeah, I know you probably did get some looks. You weren't like knocking on doors and trying to get guys at truck stops to pay attention to you. I hope, but what I am saying, when you did talk to them, what were some of the things they were looking for? I mean, I know you probably implemented some of those, but what were some of those things?
I mean, the biggest one was they wanted it to sleep cooler at night. That was absolutely number one. Number two, they wanted to be comfy. I mean, it sounds obvious, but that's what they're like. We just want to be comfortable. And number three, they wanted a reinforced edge. So sleep cooler, be comfortable, have a reinforced edge, so they could sit on the mattress. Those were the big three.
Yeah, you know, and just speaking from experience, as you drive and you go, when you sit in the bunk area for a minute, when you get out of the captain's chair, because you get out of the captain's chair and you go back and you sit there and you do paperwork or you're doing stuff and you sit on the edge, well, you get this lull down in the mattress right there where you sit, and it doesn't take very long to happen, and that's what you're talking about, that edge, that reinforced edge, that you can sit there and it doesn't create that dip, so that when you go back there to sleep, you've got this natural valley that you've created because you've sat back there. How did you reinforce that edge?
So we actually we started with putting some extra foam around the edge of the bed. We actually just switched away from that, and the beds that you were selling with us in Iowa 80 were the first that were out with a edge to edge. So there are actually coils all the way across the mattress. And I know some guys out there have a negative input on springs. But the best part about a spring is it's not the mattress that they are thinking of. These are pocketed coils, so they're next to each other. And with the edge having more springs, it's going to take 100 years to wear that out. Whereas a foam edge, where a lot of people would sit on, or what you'd feel with that butt imprint on the edge, that's foam. Foam breaks down over time and much quicker. Coils, I believe, take, I think, right around 100 years to break down, the ones that we put in our bed. So again, and that's just to show an actual divot inside the bed.
Hey, safety is priceless. Invest in better sleep. Hey, explain to us, what Odyssey's mission really is.
It's to help the truck driver. And again, a lot of people out there, looking at giving products that are just dollar and cents. When we went to Iowa 80, what's the world's largest truck stop, and we're talking to drivers, we had 3 or 4 guys that come up. Now, again, we've only been around, Odyssey's only been around for about 3 years now. We had guys come up to us and say, hey, on Odyssey, I slept great. And it's not like you're selling a different product. When we hear that, we know that guy's getting a better night's sleep. He's driving safer on the road. That's where my family goes on the road, where everyone else's family drives down the road. That's what we want. We want to improve people's lives, which sounds super corny, but it's true. If you don't have a good night's sleep, whether you're a doctor or whatever, a lawyer, that's going to affect your job. And it's even more important in the truck drivers world, I think, because I think truck drivers are a neglected segment in America. I mean, you got to look at all the different products. There's not a whole lot of people out there that are focused exactly on what the truck driver's needs are. Sure, they'll want to sell them something, but they haven't gone out and said, hey, what do you want in a mattress or in a product? And that's what we did. And that's what I think is so much, it gives me so much energized for working with Odyssey, or a company like Odyssey that's wanting to go back and give back to the truck driving community. That's a company I want to work for, and that's a product that I want to sell, because I know it's for the truck driver. It's not just to make dollars and cents.
Yeah, and in order to do that, you have to fit the mattress to the truck, right? I mean, you can't just fit, you can't just go get a twin mattress. You can't just go get a queen mattress and cut it around the edges and stick it in the truck. You actually have to get somebody with some intentionality to build it and design it for that truck, and make it so you can get it in there, be comfortable. How is that? How's that process go when you do that and you get it? Do you have many different sizes for trucks, or is it pretty set in that set standard area, bunk area?
So we have 2 standard sizes that fit about 80% of the trucks, but we can custom make any size that a truck driver needs. We have a lot of guys with ACI sleepers that have an odd size, so they're a little bit wider. Yep. We can make those. We can make RV mattresses. We can make mattresses for your house. That's the best part about having a mattress company, guys. We can make whatever you want, and especially some of those customized bunks that are coming out. We've got a lot of like the ultra loss or ultra sleepers. Peterbilt's making their 42 by 84, which is a very uncommon size. I believe we're one of the only people out there that make a mattress for that truck. So we've had a lot of customers reach out to us for that. But yeah, we'll make whatever you want. But the process is, it goes through this giant machine, and it smashes it down, seals it up like a big food saver, and then it rolls it up at the very end, and then you can shove it in a box. It's pretty crazy to watch.
Yeah, and the reason I ask you that and want to talk to you about that is because the driver needs a specific thing that, they spend about a third. They spend about a third of there's a wasp that has gotten in the studio, and it's not just a small wasp.
Yeah.
Hey, you need to get a hat or something.
Like that. I mean,
yeah. Well, I don't think it's that size, but what we're talking about here is we're talking about a driver spends a third of his day on this mattress. I mean, really, he spends a large part of his day in the bunk, right? Because he's trying to get rested and driving, and it's important that it's comfortable for the driver. What other features do you have? I noticed, I was listening to you in your sales, not my sales pitch, because we know that's probably not all true, but what other parts to that besides the coil, what other things about that mattress that make it different than just sticking a foam mattress in there?
So the biggest difference is what's on top, and I'm not going to go into your 6,000 thread count Egyptian top that you were bringing up, try to save Dave, but we actually did a bamboo pillow top. So again, we want it to feel like the bed at your home. That, because for these guys, the truck is the home, and so the top has a bamboo fabric in it. So it's another cooling factor. It's not like a cooling material. It actually helps wick away heat and dissipate heat. The same thing with having the coil pack is it allows air to go in and out. So every time you move on the mattress, it's pulling air in and out, which is again helping push the heat out and keep you cooler. There's also silver fibers inside of it, so there's no nasty chemicals. It's a natural fire barrier, antibacterial, antiviral materials as well.
Are you allergic to them?
Did you and how, when you say antiviral, what does that mean exactly?
So it just helps fight against viruses that get trapped in the mattress. So bacteria, you sweat. I think you sweat a few cups of sweat out every night, which is gross. I mean, think about a foam a foam is basically a sponge. So without having those materials on top, and especially on top, like with our pillow top, we help prevent that and kick that away. But a lot of these guys that just have a straight foam mattress, it's like a giant sponge. It soaks all that in, and it doesn't get out. It doesn't come out.
Okay, so let's talk about the feedback that you've gotten from the drivers on your mattresses, because I mean, I sat on one, I laid back on one, very comfortable, not your typical foam mattress, not your typical one that you stick in a truck. Very, very comfortable, like one you get at home. And what kind of feedback have you had over long term? Not just right away, but long term.
I've had a lot of guys say that they miss their alarm to get up in the morning to get on the road. That's a very common one.
Well, hold on a second there.
I'm not even kidding. I've had several guys message me and say, "Guys, I love the mattress, but I've missed my alarm a couple times because I just kept sleeping on it." We've had several guys buy a lot of the tandem drivers will buy one because they're just used to sleeping on that, and they'll actually buy one for their house. We've sent several Odyssey mattresses in king size to people's houses because they want to switch their mattress out at home, which is again very, very reassuring to us on the product that we're making and putting out there is that comfortable that they're converting their home mattress to an Odyssey.
So in essence, and from everything that I've listened to you and talked to you, I want to make sure that I get this right. Drive Safe Dave wasn't far off the bat when he said this was American made, right? For Americans.
No, it's probably the very far end of American made. We use American made suppliers that are actually in town, and it's made right there outside of Joplin, Missouri. So again, I think my new sales tactic, I'm just going to start screaming, if you're not American, you got to buy a mattress.
Well, yeah, a little over the top. You don't have to go over the top and stuff like that. But, it's nice to know that you're out there listening to drivers and creating it. Now he's mad. Y'all get that, right? That dude is mad. And so Rick okay. Guys, it's hard to focus. Y'all, it's a wasp.
Hey, real quick here. You know what? It's not just a wasp. This is wasp from the country. It's a country wasp. They're a little bit meaner than the little city ones you grew up with. So this is
a Texas wasp.
This is a Texas wasp, a little bit bigger than the average wasp. But here we go. So question for you, independent contractors. How does an independent contractor or a company who has some, 5, 10, 50, 5,000 trucks, how do they get a hold of you to get a deal or get the price or to get this spec of the mattress made for them?
So they can go on to odysseytruckmattress.com. That has all the information on the mattress. At the bottom, it will have my contact information and my email. And that way we can get them in touch with the local. If it's an owner-operator, we can get them in contact with the nearest dealer for them. If it's a fleet or a customer that wants to become a dealer or have questions about becoming a dealer, they can reach out to us as well. I'd love to talk to them about it, see if we can get it. Again, we're trying to grow. The more locations we have that are dealers, we can get more truck drivers and get the mattress out there to them and let them know there's a better option out there. And again, I want to back up and say too, if guys are going to lay on it, I want you guys to try it. I don't want someone to go up and think that it's the best for everybody. I want you to try it and see if you like it, lay back on it and see it. And if not, it's fine. I just let everyone know, it doesn't matter what you wear, you gotta try it out.
I don't know if this is wasp proof or not, but I'm hoping this mask does give me some kind of protection just in case. You know what? I'm always ready. That's what I'm about. So you're looking for dealers, you're looking for truck drivers, you're looking for companies that want to help you and get these mattresses in, help sell these mattresses. I love all of these things that you're doing. Man, this is uncomfortable right now. This is like playing Russian roulette, I feel.
It
You know,
is.
real close. You know, it's real close.
As soon as this segment's over, I'm going to get this wasp. So
right.
I'm just letting y'all know. I'm done. Yeah.
I feel like we got to end the segment then.
All right, I'll tell you what, Matt. Look, do me a favor. They go to your what website do they go to?
OdysseyTruckMattress.com.
OdysseyTruckMattress.com. All right, Matt. Before we get out of here and before we allow anybody to leave, we ask that they state their name, who they work with, and that you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Can you do that, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Matt Hamilton, a.k.a. Mattress Matt with Odyssey Truck Mattress. You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt.
Hey, Matt, before you go, are you known yet across your mattress company as Mattress Matt? Is that the new name?
That's it. Listen, I had to start a TikTok with Mattress Matt, so they got on me after we were talking and after you guys came. So you guys helped me get on TikTok and get the ball moving. So I've actually got a TikTok at Odyssey Mattress Matt. So we're giving it a try. So
All
see how
right,
it goes.
Good stuff, Matt. Hey, appreciate you. Stay safe out there. We look forward to talking to you again.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, buddy. We'll be back. I can't promise you in how much time. It may be 60 seconds. It may be an hour, but we will not be back on air until that sucker up there is gone. We'll see you here in a little bit.
Bye, everybody.
BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong. Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety. One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection, yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
Hi, this is David Dover, also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Safety is what you want to talk about, and safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better.
The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
You got to be prepared to stop. And when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live today.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI-certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear gives you the added benefit of providing a barrier to liquids, dirt, and grime, keeping you cleaner longer, brighter longer, and therefore safer longer. Get your high visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Hey, we got that nasty wasp hornet out of the studio here, so we're ready to talk. You got Double Check Dale here. We're ready to talk some weather and take a short break and come back, talk safety, and look at some videos. Hey, with the winds today, currently no really strong winds in effect going on, but as we go into this afternoon, the winds start to build up. They get a little bit stronger up there in that Ohio, Indiana, Michigan area. Some of those gusts could get to 35, 36 miles an hour. So if you're up in that area this afternoon, be aware that the winds are going to pick up a little bit. Other area of stronger winds is going to be up in Montana, Idaho, up in the Pacific Northwest. Nothing really major to worry about there for most of the traffic. And then if you look throughout the afternoon into early evening, there are just some pockets of stronger winds, and typically those are associated with some of the thunderstorms that are going to be going on out there. Let's take a look at some rain and thunder, see if we got anything going on there. There we are. Currently, if you were to look at the thunderstorms, you have a pretty strong one there up in Michigan, right off the lake, and then Illinois, Indiana has a little bit going on with thunderstorms, and central Tennessee has a pretty strong one right there. Currently, as we go into the morning, most of those storms dissipate, but by this afternoon, some thunderstorms start kicking up again, most of them along the Atlantic Gulf Coast, a little bit up along some of them in South Carolina, North Carolina, and then this evening, you know, not a lot going on. That Ohio River Valley is going to see some rain this afternoon or this evening. Big thing is still temperatures, still a very, very hot day predicted. We've got 100-degree temperatures from Texas all the way up into Montana. Boise, Idaho is expected to be triple digits a day. Billings, Montana, triple digits. Kansas City, high 90s. South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, triple digits. Sioux City, Iowa, triple digits. So that heat is really stretching all the way from the Gulf Coast to Canada. So be aware of that. Just take care of yourself, take care of your equipment. Remember, you know, there's a lot of things that go along with heat, you know, your tires, your equipment, yourself. If you get overheated, make sure you take a rest, let somebody know, take it seriously, because heat stress and heat stroke is a real deal. Hey, with that, we're going to come back and talk some safety.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear affords the wearer durable clothing with a great fit to afford the highest degree of safety. Get your high-visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
Hi, this is David Dover, also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Safety is what you want to talk about, and safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better.
The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
You got to be prepared to stop. And when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live today.
And welcome back to BCB Live. We're the safest station, and now we're the safest studio. There's no wasp running around here. You know what? I appreciated the strategy there. Open the door, let it go outside to somebody else's room.
That becomes somebody else.
Passing the buck. You know what? We talk about that with Drive. You know, instead of fixing the problem, you know what? We just leave it for the next driver. We saw that with Drive Safe Dave there. As you open up the wasp, let it become an operations problem.
Well, you know, I'll just tell you, when a person's drowning, they tend to drag the person down that's out there trying to save them. I'm just letting you know that's human nature. And I just opened the door, and as everyone was fleeing like from a fire in here in the studio, it got out too.
Hold on. Speaking of fleeing from a fire, so it was last Thursday, I think, right? Wednesday or Thursday? Last Thursday we had, you know, out in the warehouse, you know, we have a large warehouse right here, but somebody hit a sprinkler, and water was just gushing out in the warehouse. Well, that triggers a fire alarm, right? So the fire alarm's triggered, it's going off. And all of a sudden, we see people walking by. And afterwards, we got together, and I said, hey, I want to congratulate everybody on the, you know, it was like a real live fire drill, because it was going off, and everybody exited. They did a count of the people, did everything right, except they just walked right by and let us sit right here in the studio.
Yeah, they just were like waved. They were waved. They knew that the show must go on. Yeah.
Hey, this isn't fireproof. This room. This isn't a safe room.
Soundproof. Yes. The studio's soundproof, not fireproof.
Yeah, I think this foam probably would not react real well to flames. Yeah, they walked by, kind of waved to us. I was like, are we being set up right now? You know, I could hear the alarm going off, but I thought it was just some kind of test that maybe we weren't aware of that morning. But no, everybody walked out of here calmly, almost to say, Dave, it was almost in Dale, like they were trying to not make it too obvious how calm they were walking.
Yeah, like they were going to go, like they were going to the brake truck or something.
So don't forget your fellow man.
Stop
out there,
in and say, hey, it's fire.
Fire's going on.
Yeah.
Y'all may want to cut the show short today. Listen, we let this show will get cut short from a wasp, from a bee, from anything. If a fire, yes, even that fire, you got to let us know, and we'll get out of here. We'll shut it off. All right, here we go. So today, Dale, we're going into a little FIFA, World Cup action right now because we're talking Drive Safe. When I say World Cup, what am I talking?
Goal!
We just lost him for the day. Goal indeed. And Dale, when you hear goal during FIFA, during World Cup, it's got to get you excited because that is the world talking about getting out and look.
That's it. We're going to talk about backing up safely today. And rule number 1 is goal. Get out and look. You got to get out and look every time, folks. I mean, when you're setting up for a back, first thing you should do is get out and look. Walk around that truck, survey the area. And if you have to do it a couple times while you're backing up, that's okay. It's a lot better to take your time, get out a couple times, double check it, than back into something, cause an accident. So just remember that goal.
Yeah, and I'm just going to tell you right now, everybody understands what you're doing. Set yourself up, set the brake, put your hazards on, walk back, take a look before you get out, before you back up, and come back and blow the horn before you move. You'll want to make sure that you do all of the things necessary to be safe whenever you're backing up because you can't see. I don't care what you say, there's always a blind side to whenever you're backing up, whether it's directly behind the trailer, whether it's to the right when you crank it in, or it's on the driver's side, or it's blind side backing up. There's always a blind side back there whenever you reverse the truck. You want to make sure that you see everything that's going on there because the potential for somebody to get hurt is always there.
Yeah, and you said set yourself up, and exactly that's what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for a successful backup without any damage, without any injuries. Great point, Dave.
Get out and look. And it really is. And during summertime, during wintertime, sometimes we catch ourselves getting lax because it's so stinking hot out there, right?
Absolutely.
And I don't feel like getting out again. I mean, it's scorching that concrete out there. But
My
listen,
cab's nice and cool.
and I get it. But you still have to do these things. I mean, when you don't do them, when you get lax, bad things happen. And that's not just in get out and look. That's in all that you do in driving that truck. It's so dangerous out there anyway. When you get that opportunity to, and you're backing into that shipper at that truck stop, at that parking spot, whatever that is, we want to encourage you to make sure that you do it every single time because when you find an area that's too tight, remember 2 means you can't fit in there, you don't do it. But if you don't get out, you don't look, also I think sometimes when you get out and look, it helps encourage because you make eye contact with somebody and they'll ask you if you need help. And you say yes. Every time.
Yeah, and I'll tell you a big mistake that occurs is that when we get into that final 100 feet or we get into that final 50 feet or whatever it is, we let down our guard a little bit. We back off a little bit our attention span, and we have sometimes we get on the phone and because we're only doing 1 mile an hour or 5 miles an hour and we feel like we're a whole lot safer. These parking lots, these truck stops, these customers, these receivers, they're dangerous. They're very, very dangerous, and you've got to be careful when you're backing up. You've got to be careful when you're out there when somebody else is backing up. You've got to pay attention, but get out and look. Go back there, survey the situation. It may be a clearance issue. It may be debris on the ground that you can't see very well when you drove by. And if there's mud flaps torn off, if there's pieces of truck laying around, that's a pretty good indication that something's going on in that area. So make sure you're aware of what it is you're backing up into.
All right, it is video time here on BCB Live.
First video we got is called Not One But Two Stops.
Stop means stop. And so, here's a stop sign. We see somebody else go rolling right through it, and we take that same opportunity. This driver takes that same opportunity. Just because they do it doesn't make it right. We have to stop every time. We have to lead by example. We have to be the ones setting the bar. We're the ones that the driver has to stop every time. That's what that stop sign means. It's there for a reason. This is an intersection. Obviously, lots of traffic there because otherwise they wouldn't have put the stop signs there. Stop means stop.
I mean, this is blatant right here. This is these are the videos that we don't like to see when we see these, and it's not just one or two. And obviously, these folks, these drivers here, they're probably in this area quite a bit. They feel so comfortable because there's never anybody there. But let me tell you something. When you say those things to yourself, you start blowing through stop signs, it becomes a habit. This is a bad habit at probably a location that you go by all the time. And those are some of the worst ones. Those are the same ones in the neighborhood where you're so comfortable so you don't stop because there's nobody ever there. Because I drive this area all the time. Listen, these are habits. You've got to get used to stopping at stop signs.
You know, Rick, you say nobody's ever there. Well, if that was the case, they would have never put the stop sign up. That stop sign's there because somebody was there. There's been some accidents there. There's been some incidents there where people have, met each other by accident. And that's why those stop signs get put up. So that means stop. There is people around there. There are people around
Next
there.
video we got is called Steady Steady.
We're coming into this one, and nice steady brake. It was a harsh brake, but it was nice. The driver had the big picture, plenty of following distance at first, and starts seeing, hey, the brake light's ahead, starts slowing down. You can see it on the graphics, and just a nice, even slow down. Stop comes to it, has plenty of room to, stop safely. It's in the evening, and so there's a lot more going on. You have more distractions. You should be going a little bit slower anyway because of the darkness and the road conditions. You don't know for sure. Looks like maybe some construction, Jersey wall. Driver does a great job in this one.
Yeah, and I just like this video for the fact that this shows that, again, if this driver right now, if they're not paying attention the whole time, bad things can happen. They're paying attention. They see the lights up there. They begin their descent on the speed, and they got plenty of room between them and the vehicle in front of them. It's a great job of driving, but this, again, it shows why you must pay attention all the time. All the time.
Next video we got is called We Are Just Too Close.
This is going back to that following distance, and about 0.9 tenths of a second, 65 miles an hour, and we're just holding steady there. We just got to recognize the situation we're in, that we're not in that safe situation. If I just back off a couple of miles per hour, increase that space, I'm not losing any time. Big thing is have to recognize it, get out of that zone, because we've been driving for however long, and all of a sudden I just kind of get locked in instead of paying attention and focusing on what my following distance is and taking those corrective actions.
Next video we got is called Adjust for Weather and Road.
We're plenty close. If the roads were dry, we'd be too close. With wet roads, rain coming down, it takes longer to stop. The stopping distance increases, so we have to recognize that we have to take that corrective action. Increase our distance, our following distance. Anytime you have wet roads, rain, darkness, you should always increase your following distance because it's harder, takes longer to stop. You don't have the same reactions out there. So, wet weather, wet roads, drivers, slow down a little bit more, increase that space a little bit faster.
Yeah, I bet if you're just like 2 miles an hour lower than what you're going right now, you're still moving forward, you're going the right distance, everything will change at that moment. You've got to recognize that you can't follow this close. It is inclement weather. You can't stop anyway. You're going to have to make sure that you allow plenty of space between you and that vehicle in front of you. I know towards the end it gets there, but it looks like the truck starts speeding up a little bit in front of us. We want to make sure that we're doing our part in the big truck to control that distance. So we should own that distance.
We have one last video for the day, and this video is called Nailed It.
And we started off with a couple of trucks rolling a stop sign. This driver, hey, this is a parking lot. This is a private place. Stop sign, gets it, stop for it. So great job, driver, kudos. Nobody may have been watching, somebody may have been watching. Either way, driver did the right thing, saw the stop sign, regardless of where it was at, stopped.
The camera's always watching. So great job on that. You know what? Again, and you know what? Maybe the driver stopped because they realized that, you know what? This has got a camera on it. It's going to tell them anyway, but they stopped. I mean, Dave, the difference between that one and the other one, what makes, that driver on one of those videos, the earlier stop sign, he went through that at like 15, 16 miles an hour. That looks like a local one too, like Fort Worth.
Yeah, that I didn't recognize the property, but I will tell you, I think it has a lot to do with just the mentality of what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. The driver, the last video we saw, purposely and with purpose and intentionality stopped at the stop sign. The other one didn't figure it to be important.
So Dale, you in your real job out there, you talk to drivers about these things, right? So when you talk to a driver that slow rolls it at 4 miles an hour or 3, they tend to say, you know what, I thought I stopped. Yeah. And then the folks that go at 15 miles an hour, what do they say on that?
Well, what you had said earlier when we were reviewing it, it's like, well, I knew nobody was around. I go through this all the time. I know when there's traffic about, because it's an area they do go all the way. It's a FedEx terminal. They're going into that. But, I mean, they just got that mindset, and then they say, well, everybody does it. And sometimes it's like, well, geez, just because everybody does it means if they drove off a cliff, off the edge of the bridge, you'd do it too. Well, no, but, I was in a hurry. And that's probably the third thing you hear the most is, I was just in a hurry. I just needed to get this load going, just wanted to get in and out of there. There are no shortcuts for safety. I mean, stop means stop all the time. It helps protect intersections. Intersections are dangerous. And so they just got to get out of that hurry and recognize the time that we think we're saving by rolling a stop sign or by going a couple miles an hour over or by following too close. We're not saving the time that we think we are.
Yeah, you get in those areas that you're comfortable with, you tend to do things like that. And that just looked to me like an area that driver probably goes to all the time. There's never anybody there. You know what? We do it all the time. Nobody ever stops. And that's where we see a 15 mile an hour blow through on a stop sign. And again, if somebody is there, if something does happen, you've got to be prepared. You just got to follow the rules. I mean, you just have to stop, even in the neighborhoods. You just got to do that. I mean, so I'll ask this, Boyd, do you really stop in the neighborhood?
No, I genuinely do, especially nowadays. After working here, I did not whatsoever before.
Yeah, I never did.
No.
I would never stop in the neighborhood. It was like the neighborhood. If you're in the neighborhood, you don't have to stop.
I live here.
Yeah.
I've had multiple instances where I've seen police officers going through our neighborhood just completely roll all those stop signs. So nobody stops at them. But now I have, and I always stopped at the one at the where Cannon hits whatever road that is, but I never stopped at the one coming into the neighborhood. So it's a little uncomfortable, but I do it nowadays, and it's kind of becoming second nature.
What about you, Dale? There has to be stop signs that they're not any tougher to stop at. You're just so familiar with that area, you just know that nobody's there.
Yeah, I mean, since I started watching this, no, I don't have that because, like I said, I've got 2 stop signs coming into work. I dead stop both of those because it's the right thing to do. And like I said so many times, you get so much more of a vision of what's going on around you. But if I think back to the days I was driving, absolutely, there were some, that you slow rolled, out in the middle of the country, it's gravel road or whatever, you just go right through it, nobody's out here. It's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, and Dave, when you're in a rush and you're going through the neighborhood, I mean, those are the times that you just don't follow it, right?
That's where you're not. That's when you tell yourself you're in a hurry, you've already given yourself an excuse to break different rules. You've already, whether it be the stop sign, whether it be the speed limit, whether it be using your turn indicator, whatever the reason, you've given yourself an excuse because I was in a hurry, right? And so I don't have to follow. I don't have the same rules and the same. They don't mean as much when I'm in a hurry. So and I think we tell ourselves that we get into that. We get into that thinking, that wrong thinking when we do that, when we tell ourselves in a hurry, because we've made excuses for what we do that we shouldn't do. And I have one stop sign that if you go into my neighborhood, like deep into the neighborhood, right before my house, it's right there. Yeah, that was the one that I used to never stop at. Now I stop at it, and I never did because there's nobody on my street but 9 people. But out of respect for those 9 people, they deserve just as much respect as everybody else. I got to stop at the stop sign.
You know, and sometimes we see those bad habits compile because now I'm in a hurry. I'm rolling the stop sign. Well, if I'm in a hurry, I'm going to pick my phone up. I'm going to get distracted too, and so bad things start to happen. We see that with following too close in speed a lot of times, and so one bad habit can lead to another one. Just have to be those neighborhoods. Who was the video we had on? You know, the distracted driver and the bicyclist in the neighborhood. Just got to make sure we're doing it all right, whether it's stopping at the stop signs or staying focused, staying off that phone.
All right. Hey, drive safe. You want to close this out with a prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. Father, we ask that you help us make great decisions today, be better at what we do, and always keep in mind that we have to watch out for the other person as well as ourselves. Father, protect us, keep us safe. We ask all these in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. And yes, you did it again, if you're wondering. We will see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Bye-bye.